What's up? We're back, episode 2. Let's fucking go. Thank you all for watching the first one, joining me on this journey. So let's get straight into it. I have my note cards in my very professional way. We're going to start with the first tentpole, surveillance intimacy. So recently I was chatting with a friend about how she had gone on a first and second date with a dude. And she was telling me how between the first and second date, she had stalked his Instagram. I was honestly impressed. I was like, you didn't do that before? But I've also played around with, like, sometimes I've gone on dates where I stalked.
You stalked my whole life on the boardwalk.
Jersey Shore, where I've stalked their whole life on the boardwalk before our date. And then there have been other dates where, like, I have literally not looked up their social media presence. I don't know why, but I'm like, let's, like, let them be a real human. I don't know, whatever. So, anywho, I was impressed. She told me that when she stalked him, she realized he had absolutely no tagged photos. And we were both like, what does that mean? Because, well, this is layered. This means, shit, I don't have much more information to go off of besides what you have curated and put on your page. And also, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? And am I now judging your judgment of yourself? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, am I judging your curation of self, that you are choosing to limit what I can see of you versus, like, me? I then went and looked at my tagged photos and I was like, holy shit, I have everything on there. You could stalk my whole life at the boardwalk. You don't even have to be at the boardwalk. You can be in your bed, in wherever the fuck you want to be, and you can find out Aubrey Salita's whole fucking lore. That made me think about this as surveillance intimacy. This is the I know your ex's name before I know your favorite color, because you can find out their whole lore based on a tagged photo. Or not a tagged photo, or who they're following, or what they've reposted, what they've saved on Twitter, what they've retweeted. I don't even know. Like, LOL at me calling it Twitter. Like, everybody, right? Nobody calls it X. There is so much of us online. We have access to information we didn't earn, nor did we have consent for. When I'm in yoga, in downward facing dog, fighting demons, fighting my shit, somebody could be looking at, like, my high school boyfriend could be looking at my nudes from when I was 17. Like, that's not okay. Also, like, if somebody has a complex about me, they could be stalking my whole life thinking, like, I'm queen, when I'm, again, like, fighting my shit in yoga, right? We don't know what we mean to each other and what we can make up about each other from the access we have. We are confusing access with understanding and data with knowledge, without ever having had a real conversation or having developed true intimacy with one another. Some great examples about surveillance intimacy that have always gagged me were Spotify. I have friends who, like, very much so stalk people's Spotify. They see when they're online, they can see their music taste, you can see who they're following. And because Spotify is, like, a more low-key social media, it's, like, not really a social media, you don't really, like, you don't think about who you're following and who you're not following. But people make meaning out of that. Like, I have friends who are like, well, they're listening to this song, they must be thinking about me. Girl. No, dude. Also, Venmo. Public, private. Like, why am I seeing my camp guy friend's bill to his roommates in New York? I shouldn't see that. Like, why do I know the day that you pay the bills? And why do I know that you're the one paying the bills? I mean, like, shout out you. How many sneaky links have been busted from Venmo? So shout out Venmo. We love her for, like, making people stand on business and be honest in their dynamic. But I do think that there is an element of mystery that we've lost because we're in this surveillance state where you can always be seeing what someone's doing, monitoring them, monitoring who their friends are on Venmo and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's just like, whoa. There's been, like, men I've gone on dates with that then, like, will get a girlfriend. I'm gonna come fucking confess to it. That you can tell you can tell the seriousness, right, of a relationship because if you know their family members, do their family members follow them? Like, y'all, my mom could not keep up with this. If you put her in coach for one day, she'd be like, put me on the bench. Like, I just can't do this. Our parents, everybody else who is not millennial, cusp, Gen Z, below, like, does not understand the micro nuances and things that are revealed through online behavior. She was like, I don't get how you know that that's the girlfriend. I'm like, well, because the sister, the mom, and the cousin all follow. So we go through a process of digital vetting, and we think that because we know something about somebody, that that is their story. That is not the case. I think it allows us to write somebody off a lot sooner than getting to know somebody in their full story. Let's say I find a new human being online and I'm stalking who they're following, and I see that they follow a bunch of musicians, artists, designers, whoever that I also follow. Well, I'm in alignment with that because taste is a form of currency. So I think we're going to have stuff in common. That doesn't mean shit. They could be following them out of hate. They could be their best friend. They could be their ex-boyfriend. Look, more often than not, it probably does mean that you're in line, but I do think that taste as a form of currency is a reductive way to know somebody in total. I recently went to see who of my followers followed Trump, and I was speechless by some of the people who followed him, but I was like, I can't make up why they're following him. Some of the people made so little sense to me. I was like, you've got to be following him because you think that this is ironic. Let's talk about Find My Friends. I share with so many people that, like, with respect to them, they're all watching this, love you. You don't need my location and I don't need yours. I don't. But guess what? It's going to be fucking weird when I stop sharing my location and then the next time you go to text me, you see obviously to stop sharing location. The digital etiquette beneath that is everybody goes, well, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? No, you just shouldn't have access to be looking up where your friends are all the time. I get it for safety. Look, we live in a society where this mass productivity and the ability to control everything, this desire to have complete, total control has become the norm. That's not normal. People are supposed to sit with discomfort. You're supposed to get into sticky situations and learn how to get yourself out of them because they do still happen. And it makes me think of the adage of, like, if you are only at peace when all external things are under your control, that's not peace. That is control. Control says, my greatest fear is that if I lost control or did not have control, things would just disappear. We were not evolutionarily meant to hold this much information about people we barely know. We evolved in fields, not a feed. It's changing how we date, it's changing how we trust, and it's changing how we judge. It's left very little room for the unknown and the discomfort that's involved with being a human. This makes me think of a screenshot that I've had living on my computer for forever. In a Maddie Healy interview. Yeah, I'm a Maddie Healy fucking apologist. Go listen to him in any long form. You will know that he is a bright guy and a lot of what he says is taken out of context. So whatever, okay? I'm confessing to it. Basically, Maddie Healy says, it's a line from one of his songs. I won't get my clothes online because I'm worried about the fit, but that rule doesn't apply to my relationships. What? Say what now? You know, when you're going shopping and you're like, I don't know how it's going to fit. Like, I'm kind of nervous to order it. Girl, I'm ordering like 14 boyfriends on Hinge. What the fuck? What the fuck? And it's because I see all their stats and I'm like, well, they went here, so this must mean this. And they are friends with so-and-so because I can see that they follow so-and-so. You don't know them, babe. Think about that. You know it's bad. You know it's bad when I'm quoting Maddie Healy and, like, he's right. How about we start trying people on in person? Just because you can look doesn't mean you should. And just because you know something doesn't mean you understand it. I'm going to say that again. Just because you know something or think you do doesn't mean you understand it. Real connection and real intimacy in friendship, in dating, in family often comes from the ability and willingness to say, I don't know, but how about I get to know? How about I hear what you have to say? Maybe the most radical thing you can do in 2026 is not look. Upon editing, I forgot to mention that we're adding a new section called Ask Aubrey, where you can send me any of your digital body language questions or your digital body language experiences, DM them to the Digital Body Language Instagram, and we'll get to chatting all things DBL.